Today the topic is round the year green fodder made dairy farm a profitable. My name is Dr.P.C.Patel, Professor, Parul University and Chief Soil Health Specialist, Seva Agri Clinic and Laboratory, Bhavnagar, but at present I am residing at Anand. We know that green forage are rich and cheapest source of carbohydrate, protein, vitamins and mineral for dairy animals. The importance of forage in our country is well recognized since feeding forage alone accounts for over 60% of the cost of milk production. Hence, by providing sufficient quantities of fodder instead of costly concentrate and feed to the milk animal, the cost of milk production can considerably be reduced. So, the dairy farmers have to prepare fodder plant by incorporating only high-yielding perennial fodder crops like Hybrid Napier, Guinea grass, Multicut sorghum, Rajka Bajri, Lucerne, Berseem, Shevri, Lucerne, etc. As labor requirement for this crop is less when compared with seasonal or annual fodder crops. So in perennial crops, once we are planting, then it remains for 2 to 3 years. So the cost of cultivation is decreasing. Suppose that we are growing the crop, fodder crop every year, then every year we have cultivated the land, the requirement of seed, so the cost of cultivation has been increased. So when we prefer the perennial crops, then the cost of cultivation of the fodder crop is decreasing and we are getting the higher profit from the dairy animal. Fodder is a cheap source of nutrient supplies and concentrate feed and need to give more emphasis so as to make the dairy industry economically viable. We know that in India, limited land, 8.6 million hectares is available for fodder cultivation, and our country may face the shortage of both green as well as dry fodder by about 61.1 and 21.95% respectively, as per the report of Indian Grassland Fodder Research Institute, Jhansi. So, among all the perennial crop, hybrid Napier grass may be a boon for dairy industry on account of supply of adequate green fodder of high nutritional value with round-the-year availability and minimum expenses on repeated fodder cultivation. So once you transplanting the hybrid Napier crop, it remains in the field for 2 to 3 years. And you can take the multi-cut. You can take 6 to 7 cut in a year. So you can supply green fodder throughout the year. So you know that hybrid Napier grass, there are different hybrids like APBN-1, Coimbatore 3, Coimbatore 5, and recently the Thailand hybrid is Super. So the hybrid Napier can be transplanted at the spacing of 50 by 50 or 100 centimeter by 100 centimeter in a fertile land. You can also grow the Guinea grass is also multi-cut and it grown under the tree plantation because it loves shade condition. So I told that hybrid Napier first cutting will be taken after 50 to 60 days after planting and the subsequent cutting at 45 to 50 days interval. It contains more oxalic acid content in its earlier stage, so never take cutting earlier at 25 to 30 days interval. Otherwise, health problem in cattle will be arise. The green forage yield is 250 to 300 ton per hectare in 6 to 7 cutting in 1 year, and thereafter 2 to 3 years, green forage yield is 200 to 250 ton per hectare per year. So, you know that hybrid Napier is a cereal crop, but you know that animal also require the legume crops, so we can grow the Hedge Lucerne in between 2 lines of the hybrid Napier. But at that time, we have to give the wider spacing. We have to plant it at wider spacing 1.5 to 2 meter between two rows or 2 lines so that we can grow the Hedge Lucerne. Or you can grow the Lucerne crop also in between 2 lines in Rabi season, and in Kharif season you can grow also cowpea fodder crops. If farmer want to planting hybrid Napier alone, sole crop, they grow Shevri or Subabul on the boundary of the field. So propagation by rooted slip or stem cutting. So you can see here it is a rooted slip and here is stem cutting. So you can propagate it. Then it is APBN-1. It is tested at Anand Agriculture University. Then it is Super Napier. I told that it is available at NADB Farm Anand. Then Hybrid Napier grass Coimbatore 3. You see the growth. Hybrid Napier grass Coimbatore 5. And I told that intercropping of Hedge Lucerne is advantageous in Hybrid Napier. So here, when you harvest the Hybrid Napier along with the Hedge Lucerne, then you are getting the nutritious food, cereal as well as legumes. So the animal health will be increased and you are getting the higher milk production. So I told that Super Hybrid Napier is the best hybrid and it has the fastest growth of 10 feet in 59 days, month to month. It is a high base nutrition value, 16 to 80% protein. It can be grown in whether it is a drought resistant and can be grown and kind of location respective wet and dry season. The only need is the soil rich in organic matter because you know that it is elephant grass, so require more nutrient from the soil. So the soil should be organic, high in organic matter or rich in organic matter. It is preferably suitable for Indian subcontinent. Easy storage, this has water-soluble carbohydrate 18, which means no need to add additive to store this plant. So in Thailand, it is known as King of Napier. Then Lucerne. You know that Lucerne, also known as alfalfa or Rajka in northern India, it is rich in protein and it is considered as queen of fodder crop. Lucerne can also be grown for 2 to 3 years and it is highly nutritious and when you feed to the animal, you are getting higher milk production. I have worked at Main Forest Station Anand for 25 years and we have released GL1 and GL2 varieties for the farming communities of the Gujarat as well as in India. And the Lucerne GL1 or Anand 2 gives 6 to 7 cutting and it produces 50 to 70 metric ton of green fodder. Lucerne is sown early by line sowing at 25 centimeter up, apart using 10 kg seed rate per hectare during second week of November. So we can grow the Lucerne crop in the winter season and the second week of November by using 10 kg seed rate. And here you can see the Lucerne variety GL1, that is Anand 2. Then my friend Alamdar Seed Private Limited is located at Anjar, Kacheria, and he developed two varieties of the Lucerne, Alamdar 51 and Alamdar 1. So Alamdar 51 is a perennial one and it is a pre from Kaskata seed. So it is a photo of the Lucerne perennial Alamdar 51, sorry. So it is a seed of the Lucerne 51. So you can see here the uniform Lucerne Alamdar 51 seed production plot of Alamdar Seed Private Limited at Nagalpur in Kacheria. It is a Anjar Taluka. So I have conducted this experiment at improvement of forage quality through nutrient management. So when you are applying the more potassium, then the growth of the Lucerne is also increasing and mortality is less. So here you can see that it is recommended dose to the Lucerne crop, phosphorus 50 kg and potassium 50 kg. But when you are applying the phosphorus 50 kg and potassium 300 kg per hectare, then the plant population has been increasing and there will be mortality is less. Similarly, improvement of forage quality through nutrient management in sorghum crop also, we can improve the forage quality. So we have conducted this experiment for 3 years for 2 cuts and the variety was Sweet Sudan grass 59-3 and we have sown in Kharif season and we have harvested 2 cuts and we have made recommendation that we should have to apply 40 kg phosphorus and 20 kg sulfur. Then we are obtain the maximum forage yield total return and better quality, that is the crude protein and digestible dry matter. This level also remarkably reduce the cyanide content means hydrocyanuric acid in leaf and shoot of forage sorghum. The lowest NDF content, neutral detergent fiber content, was also found with 40 kg phosphorus to Sweet Sudan grass. So you have to remember that when you cut earlier for a sorghum, 25, 30 days, and you feed to the animal, then there will be chances to die or there will be health of the animal is deteriorated. So we should have to harvest the forage sorghum at 50 to 60 days after sowing, and subsequent cut also 45 to 50 days. So if you would harvest earlier, then there will be, I told that it contains high cyanide content or hydrocyanic acid, and when the animal consumes this powder, then there will be chance of the death of the animal. So we have to take precaution measure. Then multicut forage perennial sorghum CO Coimbatore Fodder sorghum 29. So that variety has been released by Tamil Nadu Agriculture University, and you can see the seed size of the COFS 29, very small size, and 5 to 7.5 kg seed is sufficient for sowing 1 hectare of land. It is a multicut, it remains for 2 years, and you can see the growth. It is a thin stem, so the digestibility and palatability of that variety is higher as compared to the other thick variety. So multicut forage sorghum COFS 29, I told that it is released, developed by Tamil Nadu Agriculture University, Coimbatore. Seed rate, I told that it is a 5 to 7.5 kg seed is sufficient for 1 hectare land, that is 2.5 acre land. So the special feature of sorghum COFS 29 is a multi-cut. It remains for 2 years, and you can harvest 5 to 6 cut in a year. So you can take 10 to 12 cut in a 2 years. Plant are 220 to 250 centimeter tall with 2.5 to 3 centimeter stem girth. Profuse tillering 10 to 15 per plant. More number of leaves 80 to 150, 105. Highly palatable. I told that when the leafy portion is greater in the fodder plant, then it is highly palatable to the animals, because you know that more the leaf, the more the nutritive value. So I told that average green fodder is 170 ton per hectare, 34.5 ton diameter, and seed is 5 quintal per hectare. So it is in 1 year. So multi-cut oat. So you know that we have conducted a trial at Anand main forest station, Anand Agriculture University, Anand, and the multi-cut varieties Kent or GHO 822 you can grow, and on the basis of the research for 3 years we have recommended to the farmers. The farmers are advised to grow oat Kent or GSO 822 with the application of 80 kg nitrogen per hectare for getting higher green and dry matter yield as well as full protein. Nitrogen should be applied in 3 split 50% and as basal and 25% each after 30 days of sowing and after first cut. There should be 2 cutting, first cut at 50 days after sowing and the second cut at 50% flowering stage. We don't apply excessive nitrogen in oat crop, otherwise there will be nitrate poisonous in a oat crop. So don't apply the nitrogen fertilizer beyond the recommendation. So you can apply 80 kg nitrogen per hectare for single cut as well as multi-cut. The production in single cut or multi-cut, we are getting the similar, but here the advantage is that when you are taking 2 cut, farmer have obtained fodder in 2 installments, so they can supply green forage for a longer period. When you are taking only 1 cut, then you are getting the supply the green fodder to the forages to the animal for a shorter period. So we have to take the 2 cuts, and it is proved by the experimentally it is advantageous. And you know that in a winter season, the growth of the sorghum as well as hybrid napier is lower in India due to cold condition. At that time, you can grow the oat or you can grow the maize crop. Both are better growth in winter season, means in cold time also. So here you can see that maize crop. So maize crop can be grown in monsoon, rainy season, rabi and summer season. So the African tall maize is a famous variety for fodder crops, and you can see the production is a greater, and we have made the recommendation that farmers of middle Gujarat agroclimatic zone are growing maize variety Gujarat maize 1 are advised to use seed rate 80 kg per hectare. They are advised to apply 140 kg nitrogen per hectare. That experiment was conducted in winter season, rabi season. It should be applied as a basal and 50% top dressing. So we usually have to apply 70 kg nitrogen per hectare as a sowing time of the sowing, and 50% as a top dressing means 30 days after sowing to obtain 19% more income. Then multicut Rajka Bajra, cereal fodder for monsoon and means rainy season and summer season. So Rajka Bajra can be grown similar to for a sorghum crop in monsoon season, rainy season, and summer season. So it is a multi-cut. You can harvest 2 to 3 cutting in a year. So on the basis of the experiment, we have made recommended to the farmers of middle Gujarat agroclimatic zone are advised growing Rajka Bajra for fodder purpose are advised to use seed rate of 12 kg per hectare. So for 1 hectare, we require 12 kg seed by keeping sowing distance 45 centimeter between 2 lines and fertilize the crop with 100 kg nitrogen per hectare, 50 kg nitrogen per hectare as a basal and 50 kg nitrogen just after first cut. An addition of 50 kg nitrogen should be given after each cut. So you have a 2 cut, then we should have to apply 50 kg nitrogen at each cut. 3 cut, then we have to apply 150 kg. So the application of phosphorus is not beneficial when native phosphorus is medium to high. So when the phosphorus content is high, then there is no need. But I advise to the farmer that before taking the cut, before sowing of the fodder crop, you should have to analyze this soil analysis and apply the nutrient accordingly. Why I am saying that? Because when the nutrient is imbalance leads to soil health deterioration. So here you can see that ideal ratio of the nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium is 2:1:1. But when the ratio is wider, then you can see the production of the rice crop has been declined. But here you can see the ratio is just similar to 2:1. Then the rice production is about 5.6 ton per hectare. But when the ratio is when you are applying nitrogen more and phosphorus and potassium is low, then the production is only lower. So the nutrient balance is very important for producing the higher crop production. Either it's a grain or fodder. So we have observed that soil fertility management is very important for fodder crop, but it affects on forage quality, which is very important for milk production, for milk. Therefore, dairy farmers are requested to carry out soil analysis before sowing planting of fodder crop, and they should have to apply fertilizer to fodder crop in soil as well as soil test value. It is experimentally proved that when soil is deficient or medium, then we could get definitely more fodder crop response of nitrogen fertilizer or phosphorus fertilizer or more micronutrients or micronutrient. Means any nutrient is deficient in soil and you apply in a soil, then you will get the response of the particular nutrient. You know that plant requires 17 to 18 plant nutrients, and any one nutrient is deficient in soil, then you will lose the crop production. Therefore, I request to all the farmers that before sowing of the fodder crop or any grain crop, you should have to carry out the soil analysis and apply the fertilizers as per the soil test value. Therefore, please send your soil and water plant sample at the following reputed soil testing laboratory for perfect soil analysis and expert advice on manure and fertilizer for higher crop production and quality. We have experienced soil scientist myself, Dr.P.C.Patel, who had 25-year experience in forage crop at Main Forest Station, ICR New Delhi, Anand Agricultural City, Anand, Gujarat. From 1982 to 2006, we will give expert advice to the farmers, dairy farmers for higher forage yield, quality and maintenance, soil fertility and sustainability. So The address of our company is Sevama Agri Clinic and Agri Laboratory, Bhavnagar, Gujarat, India. And it is our website, sevama.in, and our helpline number 916359595959. And we have one scientific instrument, ICP-OES. The cost of this instrument is 1 gross. It is very accurate, and we can find out the analysis with the help of jet machine, soil, water, and plant analysis. So at present, I am working at the Sevama Agri Clinic Laboratory as a chief soil health specialist, and I will advise to the farmers of the India. We are carried out the soil analysis of the throughout the India. So the future belongs to the nation who have grains, not guns. It is told by the M.S. Swaminathan. He is the father of the agriculture. So if you have liked my video on fodder crop production, then please like it. Thank you very much.